Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our cardio workshop. We realize that there might be some materials in this presentation that you might have questions about, and please feel free to text Dr. Justine at 647-987-9355. I wanted to welcome Dr. Justine and Dr. Udani here with us today. So Dr. Justine is the main chiropractor and leader at the Justine Blaney Wellness Center. She is very passionate both in the community as well as an advocate for your health. Dr. Udani is here with us, and she is a naturopathic doctor here at Justine Blaney Wellness Center, and she really loves to work with individuals from a variety of backgrounds, and generally loves and believes that everybody has the ability to make healthy and long-lasting choices. Please help me welcome Dr. Justine and Dr. Udani.
Hello, everybody. We always are working to provide you such great information and so helpful, and also grateful that Dr. Udani is on our team and with us today. Today, we're going to talk about this amazing heart of yours and how to take care of it, how important it is. But we are going to have some wellness talks on movement and keeping yourself movement, on flexibility. And we're going to have some wellness talks to keep our kids healthy, as well as how to deal with those leg cramps. So we are excited to bring lots and lots of great information to you. Stay tuned, but of course, share these with friends and family. They are free. So coming up, if you look at Maximize Living, it is not just through the U.S., it is worldwide group of doctors coming together that want to teach about prevention, about wellness care, and about the 5 essentials of health, and not just eating healthy. You can't just do one thing, or you can't exercise and not eat healthy. We have the 5 essentials that we have to put together in order to be our best. So today we're going to talk a little bit about all 5, and we really want to help you be your best. And so our purpose is to help you reach your full potential. And that allows you to be the best mom, the best dad, sister or brother, the best sibling, the best child, in order to have the energy for the things that are important to you. So we want to talk about those 5 essentials today with respect to taking care of your heart. So I know for our family, like this 2020 and 2021 has been pretty devastating. You know, lots of my family really scared. Some of them didn't want to leave the homes. Lots of doubt and confusion about what's on TV, what's real, what's not real, what's true, what's not true. I know our own family and many families had to deal with the quarantine lockdown, which, is pretty boring. I called it quarantine or COVID jail. Although my house got very clean, it sucked, So many of us have had to deal with a lot of stress and really tunnel vision focused on viruses versus looking at the fact that we need to build our health from within. And the stronger we are from within, the more we can handle all sorts of concerns, and that we need to take care of all the other things that didn't go away, including heart disease, including high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So today, we really want to focus in on something that's super important, something that we walk around with every single day, and that's our heart. So this is a huge challenge right now. What's happening, during the COVID time is that people stopped moving, no gyms, especially in the winter, didn't go out. For our family, no hockey, no skating rinks. I mean, that was something that we all went to the rink 3 to 5 times a week. So all of a sudden, something that was our passion that kept us excited to work out was gone. And so to refocus on a new passion. I know my husband gained some weight, and now with golf back, he's lost that weight. He's excited to get back on, walking, getting out golfing a couple times a week. So many, many, many patients, 65, just took time off from their regular routines during this COVID time. And our goal today is to refocus. Hey, you know what? We need to take care of this temple. We need to take care of our bodies, help our muscles. I'm already in my workout, gear because I'm working out after this. So we want to make sure that we're looking at the fact that long term, we need to take care of our bodies for all the challenges that can come our way so we can be stronger and better to attack them, to manage them, and also to be leaders for the other family members. So I hope that all of you are listening today is that you see all of this information is not just for yourself, but the fact that you can lead by example for the people that you care about, and your colleagues around you. So if we look at this quarantine, lifestyle, it's pretty scary. People have basically just been like surviving, just trying to wait till this thing ended and maybe go for a little walk here and there. But that's just honestly not enough. It's not enough just to walk your dog. We need to do more than that in order to thrive and to be our best. In the quarantine lifestyle, some things have been great. We've learned more about, food delivery systems, how you can order food to the house and limit the time that you would have taken at the grocery store. But often that means we're not making healthy nutrition choices. Or we're dialing up Uber Eats or something that's, fast food, or we're going through a drive-through instead of using that extra time that you would have had in the grocery store in order to learn a new recipe or to try a healthier food options that you maybe wouldn't have eaten before. So today we want to talk about the importance of heart disease. And the reality is this quarantine lifestyle doesn't help us. And we want to look towards saying, hey, you know what? I'm taking charge of my health. I'm making great choices. And so that I can be my best and strengthen and empower my heart and my body. I do think the future is bright. We can live in a negative world because of what's happening around of us, or we can just say, what has been great this year? What have I learned? What have I focused on? What time have I gotten back? Where have I refocused in order to make great new choices? And the challenge that we have to see is that if we follow that quarantine lifestyle or follow our old path, that heart disease is just on the rise. Like by 2030, they're looking that it'll be over 40%. That's guys, that's just like really what, 8 years away, 8.5 years away. I mean, that goes by in a blink. That would be 2 out of 5. Think about your 5 closest people that you care about, and 2 of them would be suffering from heart disease. I mean, for me, it doesn't look too far to think of my own parents. And how would that affect me, if they were hurting, if they were suffering, or if they were at risk. So as we look today, think about the people you love, not just, for your own health, but if you are suffering, how does it affect them? How are you not the best for them? And then, of course, as you lead, maybe they're going to make better choices too. Instead of the fries, they'll go with the salad. If they get to go to that patio, they'll make healthier choices. Instead of going for a couple of beers, maybe they have one and a glass of water. Sometimes it's just one small change that you make, one little change after one little change that makes the difference. We know that these costs go up. It's not just the US that have, tripling of medical costs. If you are dealing with heart disease, if you are dealing with cancer, it affects your costs. It's affected my family with my mom, my stepmom having cancer, my stepdad having cancer. I mean, there's still other healthcare costs that are not covered by OHIP. Mm-hmm. So, and if you end up in a seniors home sooner, I mean, we know that there's huge challenges with seniors homes, just being able to have visitors, the loneliness, the despair there, and the cost. Seniors homes and retirement homes are expensive. So this is a time to really take this seriously, that our heart is important, not just to love, but to have energy. And we're going to talk about that today and how to take care of it.
Yes, and I love that, Justine. It's all about the long game. It's about what do you see yourself, where you see yourself in the next 8-10 years, and how are you going to be there for your kids and your family, right? And we only have one heart, and we got to take care of it. And because it's really the size of your fist, so if you want to curl up your fist, that's the size of your heart. So that little guy is pumping 24/7, making sure your body is getting oxygenated blood. It's helping you with your energy. It's helping you with carrying nutrients. So it's such an amazing muscle. It's such an amazing pump that is just working tirelessly for you. Okay, so it's working for you, and that's what we want to take care of it too, so that it's working for the next 50, 60 years, right? Healthily. So our bodies have innate intelligence to heal itself, right? So think about it, when we have a cut, we heal it. Like our body, we don't remember how it's healed, but we look at it and it's healed. That's the natural healing ability of the body. So I believe in this 100%, Dr. Justine believes in this 100%, is the fact that if we take care of our body will take care of us, right? With the healthy lifestyles, with the right kind of nutrients and things like that. The right mindset is really important too. So the heart is the same, if we give it the right kind of attention, if we change our habits, it will heal. And hi, Theo. So it's all about how can we boost our innate healing ability of the body. And that's what we're going to talk about today. With the essentials of five essentials of max living, which Dr. Justine is going to talk about it a little bit more in detail. But I just want to say that this is very important so that we talk about how we can boost our heart health.
Exactly, Dr. Udani. I love it. This is the long game, and we don't want to be affected by stress and be locked down, and not just quantity of life, but quality of life in that long game. To have the energy to be able to play with our grandchildren, to garden, to go for those walks with our loved ones or our pets. That was my son just there. He's just finishing a workout right before going to work. That's the kind of lifestyle that we want to be living. And I'm ready to go, for my workout right after this. So we really, really want to be able to have that energy. And so with the 5 essentials, we want to maximize our nerve flow with chiropractic, maximize our nutrition, maximize our mindset, because stress affects every part of our health and our innate intelligence, maximize our oxygen and get our exercise in, and minimize those toxins. So we're going to cover some of that today, but there's a lot of talks on our website with great information on there where you can really specify in each one of these 5 essentials in order to just get better and better, every day in every way, get better and better, right? That's a Tony Robbins saying, that you just have to be better than the day before, one little step at a time, one step, even just one new step a week, one new recipe a week, one new added vegetable a week, one change a week is 52 changes at the end of the year. When you look at, the compounding effect of that, 10 years later, you've made 500 changes, right? That's amazing if we just think of one change a week. And then it's more doable and, of course, more long-term for that long game.
Absolutely. And, now that we talked a little bit about how the heart works and why it's so important that we have a healthy heart, let's talk about how can we heal the heart. So there's 4 steps, and we're going to go more in detail. So the first one is identifying the causes. So what is the cause? So a lot of times, heart disease, we hear it and we're like, oh my God, this is really scary. Like, what's happening? My grandfather used to have it. My grandfather on my dad's side actually, passed away from it. So there's a lot of that family connection for me too, where I'm really passionate about how can we prevent heart disease. And a lot of times, you get this like pushed on as saying cholesterol is like the cause of heart disease, or, there's that's kind of deemed as the bad guy. So let's talk a little bit about that too, and then some other factors that could be causing heart disease. So if you look at cholesterol, there's 2 guys. Okay, so there's 2 types. There's good guys and bad guys. So the HDL is considered good cholesterol, and LDL is considered bad cholesterol. So I think of HDL as like happy cholesterol. It goes into the bloodstream and like kind of mops things out, mop things away, keeps it clean and flowing. And the bad cholesterol is the LDL. So that is kind of the lazy cholesterol. So it kind of tends to stick to the walls of the arteries. And that's where, it starts to kind of stay there and gunk things up, and you can get blockages. So this is where, we want to make sure our cholesterol is maintained. So I'll actually give you a story of what's happening because of this pandemic. A lot of people are just sitting and, just doing work in the computer, and that's really not giving them enough of the activities that they need. So what actually happened was my boyfriend, he got his recent lab testing done, recent blood work, and his cholesterol was high, and he's only, 33. So we're just wondering, and this really had to do with the fact that he was sitting on the desk all the time. He wasn't getting enough workouts, and the diet was really bad too. So like Dr. Justine mentioned, because we're kind of stuck at home now, we're more likely to go for Uber Eats or get that takeout that's not necessarily the healthiest, right? So after, if you think about it, 2020, 2021, it's almost 2 years of we were living like this, right? So all of those habits, when all those bad habits came together, and then now his blood work shows high cholesterol. So we had to really think of how to lower this, and it is possible to lower it. But I just want you to be aware that, all of these habits that we do, it is adding up with when we are seeing high cholesterol or higher risk of heart disease later down the road. So let's talk about a little bit of the truth about cholesterol. So this is where I really, really suggest you come talk to me, or another practitioner just to get a second opinion, because just because you have high cholesterol, that doesn't necessarily mean you're at high risk for heart attacks. So there's actually a study that was done where it showed that people that have normal cholesterol actually had more heart attacks than people that had high cholesterol. So when you think about it, don't just think, okay, high cholesterol is fine, I'm okay. That's not necessarily the case, because our bodies produce cholesterol. It's like almost a way to help things heal. It's like a Band-Aid, right? But too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing, because like I said, you could be producing too much of the bad cholesterol that's gunking up your blood vessels. So it's really important to talk to your doctor, talk to your naturopath before you make any kind of medication changes or lifestyle changes, especially with cholesterol. So we know you're on the right track. So this is why it's really, really important to have good amounts of the HDL cholesterol, or the happy cholesterol, because it can be really protective for the heart and for the blood vessels. So what can cause high of the LDL cholesterol, high numbers of that, the lazy cholesterol? So like I mentioned, this is literally all what my boyfriend did, a lot of bad diet, inactivity, not being able to, take some time off from work because a lot of stressful days at work. And when he wasn't working out, he started gaining weight. And then and he was super stressed, right? So he went for the unhealthy food, a lot of takeout, a lot of, Uber Eats. So all of these poor habits, they build up, right? They're going to build up on each other, and they're going to increase your risk of heart disease, or risk of even poor posture, arthritis. A lot of these things can increase high cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. So this is why we really want to make sure that we stop the buck where it is right now, and we can support you, so that we can get the cholesterol levels down and also improve your health overall. So are statins the answer? So, if you go to your family doctor with high cholesterol, they're most likely going to give you a statin. So statin is it's an anti-cholesterol drug. But this is where it's really important to see, okay, you got to talk to your naturopath or your family doctor just to see, is there any other options that you want to take? Because, you're empowered to take care of your own health, right? And that's what we're here to kind of empower you, to support you, for you to see different options, what else is out there. Because, if when you're on a lot of medication, there's a lot of side effects, right? And there's a lot of the medications can work with each other or against each other, and it's just not a pretty picture if, let's say, you're older and you're on multiple medications, and it's and then the healing ability of the body, just it's harder for it to heal itself. So that's why our goal is for you to get off of as many medications as possible in a healthy way. That's my goal for sure whenever patients come see me, because I want you to enjoy your life, even when you're in your 80s, in your 70s. So this is where you want to talk to a naturopath or a family doctor, another family doctor, or a second opinion, just so you know, okay, are you being given all of the answers and all the options that will work for your health?
Absolutely. And definitely, as we're looking at, if you're on certain certain medications, it can deplete some of the other minerals and that you need. For example, CoQ10, magnesium, vitamin B. So you may need other nutritional supplementation in order for your body to function well while you're on those medications. So sometimes, even though you want to stay on those medications, you still want to talk to the naturopath and create a better balance, a better system for your body to function. Because those medications may be unknowingly to you are depleting the good stuff in your body or affecting the good bacteria in your body.
Absolutely. And I'll just add to that, if you're taking statins for a long time, you might notice leg cramps. So having consistent leg cramps might stop you from going for that walk or doing that workout that you really want to. So it's like these things can really add up and deplete our nutrients and things like that. So it's important to see how can we build up that storages and work together. So here are some of the cholesterol supporting nutrients I just want to let you know. So things like vitamin D and K are really important to kind of helping with the cholesterol production. And coquinol is CoQ10, so that can really be useful if you're taking some statins. Garlic extract, I love because it's really good for lowering cholesterol. Fiber, flax seeds, they really trap excess cholesterol in the gut, so that way it's not absorbed back. And omega-3 fish oil is wonderful. It's super anti-inflammatory, and we want to lower that inflammation, and all of these are wonderful nutrients that can help you do that. And you can get a lot of this from food as well. There's a lot of food sources that you can get this, because we understand, supplements can be expensive, and that's why we want to give you some options with food, like for fiber could be flax seeds, a lot of leafy greens. Omega-3s are like fatty fish, garlic extract, lots of garlic in your diet. So we want to support you with that as well.
And there are a lot of supplements on our website with Maximize Living, so they can be shipped to you. So please don't hesitate to take a look at those. However, it can be confusing, like which one to get, which one to order. These are very, very high level, high quality products. So I definitely think they're a great source of getting, the right supplement. But in order not to overdo it, I do recommend talking to your naturopath. Understanding atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. This is something that we see on x-ray. A lot of times in the lower back x-ray, when we look at the lower back from the side, we will see hardening of that abdominal aorta, called abdominal aorta atherosclerosis, or a hardening. And then that means that the artery can't pump the same because the walls of the artery are really, really stiff. And then this is going to affect heart disease. And this is something that we want to be able to work on prevention, because once you have it, it's so difficult, if impossible, to remove it. And that's why some of the information coming up about our diet is so crucially important, and our movement, in order to make our heart, our muscle work. Just like if you leave the car in the driveway, it seizes up. Our bodies are the same thing. We need to have good gas, and it needs to drive. It needs to be moved. It needs to be pressured to a certain amount in order to be able to function at its best. So fat, I know I grew up in the low fat era, low fat milk, skim milk, low fat yogurt. Everything was low fat that, my mom and stepmom used to want. And that's because that's what they were told for heart disease. Or, even I remember, margarine in our household because Baysell, had the little heart symbol on it. Um, and yet that is just pure plastic and garbage. And we know now that we need good fat. It is not the fat that's the problem. It's the sugar that's the problem and the things that turn to a sugar. And we, in fact, want the good fat. Now, there are things that are poor choices for our fat, but it is not the scapegoat. Okay. That is not the challenging um, part of our diet. So this heart health diet often is riddled with problems because people are trying to go low fat and they go to vegetarian, like vegetable oil, right? Because it sounds good, or they go to Baysell margarine because it sounds good, but truly isn't the answer. So we today want to talk about, instead of getting away from that sad diet, standard American diet, away from the low fat diet, to go towards the good fat diet, the good carb diet, and get rid of the sugars and the fake sugars that can increase our challenges in our health. And so some of those are your avocados, your seeds, your nuts, your hemp seeds, your chia seeds, your healthy fishes. We want to get those good fats into our diet and make sure that when we are cooking at high levels, we're looking towards, our coconut or avocado. We're looking towards the oils that are safer, olive oils to use in our salads and in our cooking. So far we've talked about the causes of heart disease. We've talked about cholesterol. Second, we want to talk about removing the interference in our health. And so if we talk about that interference, our brain is so important because it controls everything in our body.
Yes, and absolutely. And for brain health, we need good healthy fats as well. So not just for the heart, but for the function of the nerves, we definitely need those healthy fats. Like Dr. Justine mentioned, avocados, fatty fish, flax seeds. A lot of seeds contain a lot of healthy fats as well. Because, and she's absolutely right. The sugar is the bad guy, because sugar is what's going to trigger that inflammation. It's going to trigger that pain and things. So that's why it's really important to add as much of heart healthy fat. So things like avocado, things like nuts, almonds, walnuts, pecans, seeds, a lot of fish oil. So fatty fish like mackerel, salmon can be really good for the heart.
I love this picture because right at the front it has those capsules, and I put them out for my boys this morning, my husband and my son. So essential oils sometimes is a great supplement, not just for your heart, but for focus, for concentration, for those who brain fog. So there's many good reasons to take an essential oil as a supplement daily.
Yeah, I just remember when I was a kid, my dad would just like spoon feed me fish oil. So, and I'm happy he did that, right? Because like now I had that habit of taking it as that I just had it as a child. So it's really like how you live, how you're helping your children as well, where if you teach them young, then they're going to continue these habits. And that is, that's amazing, because just like that, our heart also has a very high regenerative potential. The heart can heal. If you actually look at there's videos called angiograms on YouTube, you can see that when the heart is damaged, it will actually develop new blood vessels to support itself. So, because it can adapt, and it will adapt if we are willing to make the right choices. So it's a very high regenerative potential of the heart, and that's what we want to support it. So if you're in that place where you're like, oh, I feel so hopeless, I feel like I have really high risk of heart disease because my dad has it, my mom has it, I have high cholesterol, we just want to let you know that doesn't mean it's a death sentence. You can still change. You can still live so long to see, your kids and your grandkids play. You can still be healthy. So we want to talk a little bit about some raw materials and nutrients from food that can support the heart. because, we always say if it's food made by God, food made in nature is always best compared to food made by man, which is more synthetic. It's more full of toxins and, chemicals. Raw food, or as close to raw as we can get, so things that are like a lot of fruits and a lot of vegetables, lots of colorful food, can be so healthy for the heart. It's super anti-inflammatory. So this is all about making that one little habit, changing those little habits a day. So I'll tell about my boyfriend. Now he started eating salads and he loves it. He's putting flax seeds on them. He's chopping up his vegetables. He had some avocado. So it's like, and he loves doing it. So it's like all these little habits will add up to amazing results in the end. And sticking to that raw food or the fresh food, vegetables, food made by God is the best way to go. And I'll also add this. So this is a little chemical called nitric oxide, which can be produced by a lot of the vegetables that we'll talk about in the next slide. This really helps to relax your blood vessels. So that way it keeps them open and the blood is flowing well. So it's really, it's a good molecule that our body produces to kind of prevent and protect us from heart disease. So some of the vegetables that you can add to your diet that can produce this naturally is things like celery, watercress, lettuce, beetroot, chervil, spinach, arugula. I love having beetroot in my diet. I actually make juice with it. It tastes fantastic and it has such a nice color. And I make it for everybody in my family. So I had some beets, I had some celery. And, I personally notice a huge difference too. When I take this, I feel a boost in my energy. I just feel better in my mindset too. And it's all about those little habits. So adding some juicing or even just adding it to your salad or those things can really help the long term. So, and then if let's say for some reason, it's really difficult for you to make some of these changes, then there's always supplements as a backup. I always say diet and lifestyle first and supplements as more of a backup, and this is where you want to talk to a naturopath, just so that we know what's the right formulas for you, what you need, right? Because there's so many supplements out there that we don't want you to, feel confused, overwhelmed, and, spend money that for all of these when you might not even need as much. So this is where I come talk to myself, come talk to even our holistic nutritionist, Sabine. We offer free 15-minute meet and greets where we can talk about these things. So that way you have as much support as you do. So high blood pressure is another risk for heart disease, right? And I'll actually tell a story about my grandma because she had no idea for the longest time that she had high blood pressure. And how she found out was that she was walking one day and she suddenly started to get a really, really bad headache and she started to feel lightheaded. So then we took her to the hospital, to the clinic, and there we found that she had high blood pressure for the longest time. So high blood pressure is actually called the silent killer because it's so hard to so hard for it to appear, and all the symptoms can be really random, right? So in the case of my grandma, she had no idea that she had it, except that she was walking one time and then she had this really bad headache. So some symptoms of, having high blood pressure is, you start to see like spots in front of you in your vision. You might feel when you're laying down that your heart is really pumping really loudly, or you feel the rush of blood right by your neck, like where the pulse is. You might feel like it's really pumping. You might feel more tired as you're working towards the end of the day. So these are all symptoms to look out for and also to get checked up. If you have a at-home blood pressure monitor, it's really I love it because my dad uses it too, just to check, once a week or so. You don't need to check it all the time, but it's just to really help monitor to see, are you at risk for high blood pressure? So any blood pressure, normal blood pressure is 120 over 80. Okay, so that's the number you want to look at. And if you're a little bit slightly lower than that, that's actually not bad, because we always want to be a little bit on the lower side than the higher side, right? So, but if let's say if it's going to like 140, 150, 160, that's where we want to kind of get you into a clinic, get you see myself or your family doctor, just so that we can see how can we manage this better. And some raw materials can for sure help with blood sugar and blood pressure, actually. So these are a lot of times a lot of the heart healthy fats that we talked about, a lot of the nuts and seeds that has a lot of protein that can help with lowering blood pressure. There's also something called bonito flakes. So it's actually fish extract from a fish that's also been shown to lower blood pressure. But my point here is that there's a lot of options for you. There's a lot of natural options you can take as well as medication. And we always say, do the natural way first, try prevention first, right? That's the best way because it allows your body to heal itself. And come speak to a professional, go speak to a naturopath, so that way you know, okay, what can you do for your blood pressure and how to lower it in a natural way.
Thank you so much, Danny. It's so important. First, understanding cholesterol is not always a bad thing. Understanding the cause, removing the interference, removing those bad fats, adding the good stuff in with the good foods, the good fats, and removing the ones that the interference that causes and the challenges. And that's why we have a team, so that you can get the best healthcare team. The number 3 there is we got to move. The body is designed to move and to keep it it is a muscle, and a muscle has to be challenged. And I know many people think, well, I went for a walk. I walked the dog. That was my exercise. I walked the 3 kilometers. I walked the 5 kilometers. However, or I got, 10,000 steps. That's not enough. We need to challenge the muscle. And so high intensity workouts in short durations is exactly what we need. It doesn't have to be the 45-minute walk at the exact same pace. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying you need to do more or a little bit harder. So this is something where we call, you're out of breath. You want to get to the point where you're just slightly out of breath. Not that you can't talk, but that you're out of breath. And so we have these types of high intensity interval exercises on our website. We have different workout plans that can be done with weights or just your body weight. But often you start with just the 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. That means 20 seconds going hard. Like even if it's just squats, it's 20 seconds as fast as you can, and then a 20-second rest. Or if it's punching, 20 seconds as fast as you can and 20 seconds rest. So we mix it up because you need that body confusion, but you're going hard and then relax, hard and then relax. So you start with 20 seconds, you work towards 30 seconds, you work towards 40 seconds, you work towards a minute. And as you get healthier and healthier, you're able to challenge yourself more and more until you can do, 12 minutes hard out and you're done. It is a process. Maybe it starts at 3 to 4 minutes a day of hard out exercise with the on-off principle, but that's going to challenge your heart in order to get the best response. And that's called metabolic conditioning. Metabolic conditioning, get your heart doing more. And so we do have Max T3 on the go, where we're changing the time of the exercise, the tempo of the exercise, and the type of exercise, creating that muscle confusion, getting our body constantly in change. One of the things that I often see is that people do the same thing over and over and over again. And then you don't see any benefits. We see the plateauing. We see different joints, muscles uneven from one side to the other side or front to back, or we see that different joints wear out because we're not getting a full body approach. So that's why on our Max T3, they have that through Maximize Living. You can also get our challenge that we have, and we'll tell you a little bit about that coming up. As we're healing that heart, we talked about identifying the cause, getting rid of the interference, getting our bodies moving, and talk to us more about that at the office. Have a personal trainer. The next one is balancing that nervous system, and that's because the nervous system controls all function in your body. We need the brain and the body connected. And I know when we're under stress, we tense up. I know I do. If I'm worried about something, you may not sleep as well. You feel more tension in your neck and your shoulders. Some people feel it in their gut health. Some people feel it in their lower back. But when we're under emotional, mental stress, which is what's happening right now, that affects our bodies. So the first part about it is getting our mindset right, and that means having a plan, right? Because it's so easy to say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll exercise tomorrow, or I'll just do the walk today. I'm not going to push myself, because I'm tired, because I'm stressed. So creating that plan for me, Sunday nights, knowing my plan, or if you're going to do a workout, have it written out or follow, on YouTube. But there's so many options now on Instagram that are free, so that you're following somebody else. So it's easy. It's easier to follow than and not give up on ourselves, right? When we're doing the different exercises, especially when you're trying to push yourself out of your comfort zone and push yourself to be that out of breath component. So the first part is get our mindset. Say, you know what, this is for me, this is for my family, this is to improve my machine, my temple, so that I can put out more energy if I can put in more work and more effort. When we talk about the cause of the cure, this is from Dr. Cohen, a physician that's spoken widely about heart health. And he says most of the heart attacks are because of the imbalance in our central nervous system. And that's the one that's conscious versus our autonomic nervous system, which is unconscious. Autonomic nervous system is the one that typically controls that rest and digest, meaning that controls your organs, the things that you do not think about. And that controls your heart and how your heart functions. So we need to be able to get that balance in the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system versus the parasympathetic nervous system. And so when we talk about the nervous system, it controls every single part of our body. It controls how we think about the world around us, how we move our body, how we adapt to our environment. That's our nervous system, and it affects how we deal with our health choices. So we want a balanced nervous system, and that's certainly where a chiropractor comes in. We look at the nerves in your neck that can affect your eyes, your ears, your nose, your sinuses, your allergies, the things like headaches, migraines, your thyroid, your blood pressure, but through the vagus nerve. Come down lower affects your heart and your lungs. Come down lower is going to affect your digestion, and the power in your muscles. See, the nervous system controls every single function. Literally, if you switch off your nervous system, you switch off you. You're done. You have to have it functioning at its best. And that's why for a functioning nervous system, though, when we talk about the 5 essentials, you still need to feed it the good nutrition, the good supplements. You need to make sure you have the great mindset to manage stress, and you need to move the body. And that's why a chiropractor and naturopath work really, really well together to get all of our systems coming together. So as I said about the nervous system, if there's dysregulation, it's not working properly, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic are out of balance. And the sympathetic is when we're under stress, we either want to fight or we want to flight. Or for many of us, we just want to hide or hibernate. We just want to get away. And we turn our bodies, we turn our minds off. We stop all the good things that we know that we need to do. We want to hang out on the couch. We want to do the Netflix. We want to, search the net, whatever it is, and stop those good things. So the sympathetic nervous system makes our heart, race, help cause those anxiety attacks, and is really affected by fear. And that can be what's on TV. So certainly one of the best ways is turn off the TV, turn off any negativity, any negative news, radio that's coming in your way. And as a chiropractor, we work to help balance that stress, that sympathetic nervous system was overactive with your parasympathetic nervous system. And our goal is to remove subluxations, remove the stressors on your nervous system so that you can function at its best. So what we're experts at is finding and removing subluxations. We want that lifeline, that nervous system functioning well. And then to find those subluxations, we're going to do nerve scans, looking for areas of heat and inflammation. We're going to look at palpation. That means feeling your back and looking at your posture if areas are out of line or your head is forward because lots of laptop time or computer time. And we're going to use X-ray to look at any risk signs, any areas of arthritis, any areas of degenerative disc, and those subluxations, those misalignments. Do you have the proper C curve that you see in the neck? Because that's your brainstem. And if there's a challenge in your brainstem, it's affecting everything below in your body and everything into your head, your focus, your sleep, your memory. So we want to make sure we're always checking for those good disc spaces, good alignment to find and remove those subluxations to stop the degeneration. The nerves at the top part of your neck, that vagus nerve, research has proven that it affects blood pressure, and stress affects blood pressure. So as chiropractors, we're experts at looking at the spine and nervous system to help remove stress on the spine and nervous system and remove those areas of subluxation. So as we look at the next steps, we want to make sure everybody, your family, everybody's had a spinal checkup. And that is all ages, from 0 and up. I mean, we've worked from infants. Soon as you're born, you have a spine and a nervous system. Right to the oldest patient I've ever worked on is 98. So 0 to 98 is what I've done. I know that many doctors have worked on 100-year-olds in order to help them best. So that everybody deserves a checkup. Just like you check your eyes, you check your teeth, you check your heart, you check the nervous system because it controls your eyes, your mouth, your heart. We want you to stay tuned with our upcoming wellness talks. Again, just doing that daily one thing every week, learning one more new change. And know that our naturopaths, all of our team, do complimentary consultations, a meet and greet to ask questions. And if you're nervous, that can be done virtually as a phone call. I did a couple of those yesterday because we want to be able to help you best and get the best response. We know that there's nervousness to get into the office or time restraints. We're happy to help you get the information you need in a way that you're comfortable. And then once we've done that meet and greet, we set up a full examination and a treatment plan that's customized to you. There are lots and lots of supplements, as I said, on our website. Please talk to the naturopaths, get the customized plan for you. The shotgun approach of looking at anything that says heart on it is expensive, but it also can be harmful. You do not want to overkill supplements as well. There's also a time to get off certain supplements or to know if they interact with different medications. So please seek the advice of our naturopaths, our nutritionists, to make sure you're getting the best for your health and best for your dollar. Upcoming, we have these wobble cushions, and these are, I have mine right here, actually. We can use these in our lower backs to lean against when you're sitting, but also you can sit on it to do exercises for your lower back, for your core, back and forward, to help rehydrate your discs, to increase lymphatic flow and energy through your body. Just a couple of minutes a day, you can sit on it. You can stand on it for core stability. These are very inexpensive, but a great way in the morning to loosen up your spine, to help that nerve flow through your body. And it only just takes a couple minutes a day. I have them at each of my desks because I find that it helps for my posture and it helps remind me to do my 2 minutes of wobbling to increase that nerve flow through my body. We do have our motion challenge. Stay tuned for it. Contact Angela. We have on our website the exercise challenges, the way to do it with body weight, starting with just 4 minutes a day and slowly increasing to adding with weights. You can choose the one depending on what you have at home since our gyms are closed. But we want to make sure, or you just can't get in, as the timing changes and hopefully they open. But we just also want to make it easy. Like, if you can do it at home, you don't even have that drive time. You can do it in your PJs if you need to, or you can do it at a hotel if you are away or on holidays, because being on holidays is no excuse not to move. So join our challenge in order to get moving, and join with a friend, join with somebody, whether it's virtually or in person outside, because as we're doing exercise with somebody else, we typically will push ourselves harder and stay the course in order to get the best results. Connect with us. We have numerous upcoming talks. Please do a review. Dr. Udani and myself, we're constantly trying to provide new information. If you'd like a topic that we haven't covered, let us know. You can do that by email or phone call or text. And take a look at the Maximize Living products on our website. Again, we do those complimentary meet and greets, consultations. You can call the office and we'd be happy to chat with you and make sure we can find the right fit for you. So upcoming, we have our movement talks, our flexibility, our healthy kids, and of course, dealing with those leg cramps, those spasms. They can be so painful, and learning about the right supplements for you. So put them in your calendar, share with a friend, and we look forward to reaching out to you. Remember, these are free, so share them with friends and family all over Canada, all over the world. They can be watched at any time on YouTube, Facebook, and connect with us on our website. And of course, we'd love a review. So take care, have a wonderful night, and we look forward to being in touch and seeing you soon.
Take care, everybody. Have a great night.